For part 3 in this elementary Latin curriculum series, we will take a look at a unique and super fun Latin program called Minimus Starting Out in Latin by Cambridge University Press. This program is intended for 7 to 10-year-olds. What you need for this program is the student book and the accompanying CD. I have the cassette tape. I don't think they sell these anymore, but they definitely sell the CDs. You can find these online. This book is about $10 to $15 used, and the CDs are about $25 for the CDs. And you can also get a teacher's manual, but they are very expensive. The cheapest I could find used on eBay is at $50 right now. That's the cheapest. So if you know a little bit of Latin, you may not need the teacher's manual. We did not use the teacher's manual, and we were perfectly fine without it. We sometimes had to look up a word online if we didn't know what it was, but we did fine without the teacher's manual. So let's take a look inside and look at the first lesson. So you will see right off the bat that this is very different from the other Latin programs I have showed you so far. This is a story. It's in a comic strip form, and each chapter will continue the story. These stories are based on an actual Roman family that lived 2,000 years ago, and the family has a father and mother, sister and 2 brothers, and we have Wibrissa, the cat, and Minimus, the mouse. This is all in the classical pronunciation. So just so you know that there is no ecclesiastical pronunciation for this program. It is just the classical pronunciation. So what you do with this program is the student will listen to the CD, and then you will go over it together. The CD does not translate it for you. You do the translations yourself. So you listen to it, the story, and sometimes there's sound effects, and it can be really fun. And then afterwards, it has a words to help list here, and this will help you translate what they're saying. So I'm going to actually play for you a little bit of this first lesson so you can hear what the CD would sound like.
Chapter 1. Meet the family. Who are you?
Minimus Minimus Qui says?
Lepidina sum, mater sum.
Qui says?
Flavius sum, pater sum.
Qui says?
Flavia sum, filia sum.
Qui says?
Julius sum, Filius sum.
Qui says?
Rufus sum,
Infans sum. Qui estis?
Candidus sum, Corinthus sum, Servi sumus.
Windolandae sumus.
Qui says?
Vibrissa sum, Fele sum.
Rus exit.
So that's an example of what it sounds like on the CD. If you do not have the teacher's manual, you might have a little bit of difficulty in these translations, but if you have done Latin before with some other programs, you should probably be fine translating these yourself and figuring out what they're saying. You can just, like I said before, you can just check out these phrases or words online if you aren't exactly sure what they're saying. So that's kind of how we got by without the teacher's manual. We would just sometimes use online. So that is what's going on for these lessons. So the whole book is like this. I can kind of flip through and you'll see that these little comic strips are throughout the entire book. And also in each chapter there is a Greek or Roman myth in every chapter, so they're going to be learning a little of the Greek myths and Roman myths, and also there's some Roman historical information and cultural information, and sometimes you'll also get real color photographs of real Roman artifacts from several thousand years ago. So that's what this book is like. It is not very heavy on grammar. In fact, grammar is very, very light in here. It's not covered very much. Here's an example of some photographs of real Roman artifacts. And there's some writing there on that little piece of paper. So this is very light on grammar. It is fun. This is a Roman game. I like this picture. So we use this book as a kind of a break from using a more structured and challenging program. We were using Latin for Children Primer A in 3rd grade, and that was very challenging for my daughter, so we wanted something easier, and this definitely reignited her love for Latin. She loved this book. So I thought this was valuable just to give her a break from the harder book she was using, and I think there's also something valuable in just hearing the Latin used in real conversations, and it kind of brought the language to life for us. So that is Minimus starting out in Latin, and I wanted to quickly show you the second book. There's 2 books to the series, and this is the second book, Minimus Secundus, moving on in Latin, and here's the CD. So you'll see that this is very similar to the first book. This is for older children, 10 to 13 years old, and it's very similar to the first book. It continues on with the same family, the same characters, and of course we have Minimus the mouse. So the difference between the 2 books is that the second book has a lot more vocabulary, and it will also introduce and talk about a lot more grammar than in the first book. It continues to have myths in each chapter and little bits of historical information. Here's one of the myths, Pegasus. So they'll continue to have little bits of historical information and real color photographs. And we have not used this book yet, but we are looking forward to using it either this year or next year. So that is what these Minimus books are like. So I hope that this has been helpful for you guys to see inside these books, to see what they're like. And in our next Latin video, we're going to look at Prima Latina and Latina Christiana, Book 1. So hopefully we'll see you in the next video, and you guys have a great day.